Hello, this is old Mr. Kent of MrKent.com, and at this moment in time, I'm excited because I finally figured out a way that I could ride my e-bike into town and get caught up on the construction that's going on in there, especially right near where my grandkids go to school. So that's where we're headed, and the interesting thing is, it's all down this road right here. The road we take in the town, I call it into town, into where there's stores and stuff. Anyway, the road we take is straight into where I'm going to be filming. And this was kind of an interesting thing. I came up, of course, I had to ride on the left side. That's what I'm talking about. You can't ride on the right side because they got it all torn up. But then finally it gets to be my turn, and I start to go. And then guess what? That guy decides he wants to go. So anyway, I relented to him. Not going to fight with a truck on my e-bike. So I had to take see all the construction on the other side of the road. I had to take the left side, and that was not too bad because there just wasn't hardly any traffic coming out of town my direction. It was all going into town because I started riding at about 6:15 a.m. That's when people are getting ready to go to work and stuff. So I'm going down the left side because even when I get down to where I want to film, between here and there's still a little bit of construction going on. So I'm just going to stay on the left side until I can get down to where I want to film. And my wife was concerned about this corner because it's really busy, but I seem to do okay. And this is the road that takes us to where my grandkids go to school. And so while I'm getting there and taking off, I do want to tell you a story. I finally got to. Here's where I'm gonna film. So let's get started there. But when I got into high school, and my folks had moved down to the Seattle-Tacoma Airport area because my dad worked for United Airlines, and so here I'm coming up to where I'm going to take off. I had to take off further down to make sure there was no trees. So here I go. I'm taking off, and this construction site right here, I have already filmed it quite a while ago, but from the other side. But that takeoff point that I was using, which was also a homeless site, it's all dug up now, and they're going to be building houses there. So anyway, you can take a look at what's going on here. There's hundreds of little houses there. This is for retirement, 50 and above, and also for snowbirds that come down from up in north United States where there's a lot of snow. So they come down there and they spend the winter down here. So my dad worked for United, and at the time that I was in high school, the 707 and the DC-8 jets were coming out, and United paid to have my dad take training to become an aircraft and power plant mechanic. That's an A&P mechanic, and concentrate on jets, because they needed people to be able to troubleshoot and figure out what was wrong if they had problems with the jet, one of their new jets. So that was his job. And I remember when the Boeing 707, the first one that United got, and they displayed it at the airport. I don't remember if it was just employees, but anyway, they had an open house, and you could go in and tour the new jet. And the interesting thing is, my nephew was pretty small at that time, and they pushed one of the company ramps up to the door, and they didn't get it all the way up. And so when my little nephew went from the ramp to the door, there was enough gap that he slipped through, fell to the ground, landed on his belly, and wasn't hurt at all. The only interesting thing was that whatever the emblem was that he had on his T-shirt, when they lifted up his T-shirt, it was imprinted in red on his skin. So that was kind of funny. But anyway, and I also took a girl on a date to tour the 707. We also had a tour of the DC-8. I don't remember which one it was I took a girl on a date to, but that was one of the dates I took them on. And then, so I went away to college, and then I'll back up to high school pretty soon. But I went away to college, and while I was gone, United Airlines purchased their first 747 jetliner when they first came out. And so they had that open for inspection, and my dad, he took me in, gave me a tour, and he came up to the front, and there was a thing where you could lift up the floor and go down some stairs and go down below the main floor, and it was in front of where the luggage would be, and it was like the inside of a ship. I mean, it had ribs, and of course it was all insulated and everything. But he pointed out they had 3 computers on these racks, these 3 different racks. They had great big computers on them. And so that if something went wrong, and then they would check the other 2 computers that they weren't using and see if it was the computer that had the problem or if it was really something wrong. And that's how they did it back in those days, the early days of computers. But the one thing that he explained to me was, I don't know if you know what a sectional chart is, but that's a map that pilots use. You take the sectional chart for where you're located, and you find the longitude and latitude, and you plug that into the computer, and then you find the place where you're going. You get a sectional chart for that, and you plug in the longitude and latitude for that, and then you program the computer to start. And so then when the plane takes off, it'll automatically go in the direction that it has to in order to get that other waypoint. And that's how they did it back then. There was no GPS or anything like that. And my dad said that if you type in the wrong thing, you can't change it until you get to that point, and just hopefully it's the right point. But they were using those 747s, of course, to fly all over the world, and so you're flying over a lot of ocean and stuff like that. So that was kind of interesting that he told me that, because nowadays with GPS, there's no question about finding the right place, and also probably they might still have more than one computer, so it'll be back up the other one. But anyway, so that was kind of interesting that he explained that to me. And this here that we're looking at right here is going to be a supermarket area. In fact, I didn't mention it, but when we were coming over to this, there was a green field that we looked at, and that's also going to be part of, it's called Vineyard Shopping Center or something like that. And so they're just getting started on, laying out everything. And I know there's going to be, the only stores that I know of that are going to be there is Sprouts. They have a store here in Arizona, probably other places, but they sell produce. They sell produce, and so and they're pretty popular. People like their stuff. Anyway, so they're going to have a store like that, and the other one that we have gone to is like 20 miles away, so that'll be nice. My wife likes to make things, salad and stuff like that. So that guy's backing up. He's backing up to dump his dirt. I've never seen him do that before. But so anyway, those are some stories about when I was a kid. I'll get back to some more stories of when I was in high school. But those were stories about my dad. And by the way, he worked that job for a long time, And then they told him that they're going to close down that part, and he had a choice of going to either Chicago or Sacramento or California, and he chose to just lose the job and stay home with his family. So anyway, here I come in to land over a cotton field, and I want to thank you for watching my videos, and as always, God bless.